likes a sense of satisfaction. That feeling just makes my stomach feel good, and I don't know, makes me smile and stuff. And it usually comes from like competitions and stuff, if you do good in it, or if you do something that makes other people feel good, then you'll feel good about yourself. And what I'm going to talk about is the bows. Bows have been used for centuries for hunting and for competition, and that's where I would get my satisfaction, is whenever I hunt, and that feeling, like I said in my last speech, the buck fever, the adrenaline. Once you shoot it, that adrenaline stays for a while because you feel good, unless you miss, and then you don't feel too good. But I haven't had that problem for a while, so I usually feel good. And there are 3 different types of bows. There's a compound bow, a recurve bow, and a crossbow. And I have a compound bow, and that's what it looks like. And it is probably the most used bow in the US and around the world, just because of how easy it is to use and shoot. And it's got, compared to the recurve bow, it's got sights, which the recurve bow doesn't. That's what this is, and there's a bunch of different silencers to try to keep it quiet. There's silencers on the strings, and there's a silencer right here, so when it doesn't vibrate. And in the competitions, like in archery in the schools, these are the type of bows that we use. And we use those bows because they're so easy to shoot, and so people don't get hurt. It's shaped like a W, and because that's the new technology, I guess, with just bending in the middle. And compared to the recurve bow, it is like a W kind of, but it's got not much of a inside. But the recurve bow is probably the oldest bow because of how there's no technology on it. There's not very much improvements to it. But as you see, it's just like made of wood, when the compound bow is metals and stuff, so it can break a lot easier, and just the wear and tear will make it not be used as long. And there's no sights on it, so you just have to use your eye and your hand pretty much to guide yourself. But those are the arrows that you use. They're pretty long, I'd say, and they got feathers on the end and some sharp tips for hunting and competition. And those are the targets that you shoot for competition. They got the bullseye, and pretty fun. But the next bow I'm going to talk about is the crossbow. It's probably the coolest type of bow, just because you can shoot it with your finger, and it's like a gun kind of. You have an optical scope with a variable zoom sometimes, so you can see farther with it. And as you see, it looks like a gun, so it's a big difference between the 2 other bows. And loading process is totally different, and it's just easy to shoot because all I have to do is pull a trigger. And the arrows for crossbow are called bolts, because they're much shorter and they don't have a little clip knock on the end, and their tips are much pointier, and they're just much easier to shoot, but a lot more technologically diverse. And in conclusion, now know that there's 3 different types of bows and the different ways that you can shoot them. And just to think that hundreds of years ago, how people had to live just by shooting bows to get their protection and satisfaction and for food. So be grateful.
Okay.